The gentleman is recognized for 10 minutes.
Well, let's look at what we've debated here this morning. The truth is, as the gentleman from California so rightly notes, this is something we can all agree on. That is STEM visas to supply the need for that economic engine of our economy. That's not really the question here. The question is, at what cost do we allow this to happen? And what we are saying is, it is almost as though November 6th came and went, and my friends on the other side of the aisle just never listened to the verdict of the people. And what they said to us was, stop picking winners and losers. Stop dividing and pitting one American against another. How many countless occasions haven't we heard our friends on the other side of the aisle decry us for class warfare? For class warfare. And yet they come with a proposal here today, and we can use their very words. They want smart people. They want educated people. They want people that are going to add something to the economy. Well, let me just suggest that we, many of us in this Congress today, came from very humble roots. And yes, I resent the fact that people come before the well of the house to tout the virtues of their moms and dads and say, my mom worked really hard. She scrubbed pots. She stayed up infinite. She mopped people's homes. She worked so hard. She had nothing left on her fingers so that I could get an education and I could come to the Congress of the United States. And yet they come and propose something that will deny other peoples that same opportunity to come here, to work hard, to sweat and to toil, and to one day maybe send their son or daughter to the Congress of the United States. You will hear, and we can find these speeches throughout the history of the Congress of the United States. The difference today is that this side of the aisle wants to be honest and consistent with that story, that virtuous story of immigrants who have come here to sweat and to toil from all kinds. We don't want to go back to the day Irish need not apply. We know the history of immigration in this country when they were saying, well, not those people, not those that are not educated, not those that are hungry, not those that are famished should not come here. That's an old argument, and we shouldn't be making it today, especially after the election that we just had. All we're saying to the other side of the aisle is, why is it that you couldn't sit down with this side of the aisle in a bipartisan? Because that's what people said during the election. They said, hey, listen, guys, we want you to settle down. We want you to work this out for the good of the American people. I'm going to tell you why I believe you couldn't negotiate with us. Because you have to negotiate with Numbers USA. Why don't we just say it? They're the party that's not here in the well of the House, but they're here in spirit and in the legislative policy that we are being reiterated here today. You can't negotiate with us because you have to negotiate with the most extreme element of American society on immigration, and not with those that want to bring about comprehensive immigration reform and reform in our immigration system. And what is Numbers USA? They say, in short, Numbers USA short, descriptive modifier, should call it Immigration Reduction Organization. So who did you negotiate with? The Immigration Reduction Organization. And that's why you have to put up the visas, these visas that have allowed tens of thousands of people to come to this country and to work hard and to sweat and to toil and to make this a greater nation for all of us. Now, how does it reduce the numbers? It's simple. You know it and we know it. Every graduate, master's and PhD on an annual basis in the United States, what's the number? What's the number? That's the number we should be cognizant of here today. It's 29,000. Now, there's 55,000 visas. So why is it that we're offering 55,000 visas for 29,000 possible graduates? And wait a minute. That's it. Every graduate doesn't go back to their country. And we know many of them return to their countries to build those nations, and we want that to continue. We want them to come to the United States of America and go back to their country and foster democracy and goodwill. So many of them do that. But not all the 29,000 stay here. So what happens? You eliminate 50,000 visas. You say, we're going to give you 55. You know you only can use 29. It's a net loss. The people on the other side of the aisle keep telling us, why don't they come through the legal way? Why don't they come through the legal way? Why do they always have to go under, around? And they should come here legally, because we're for legal immigration. Not today you're not for legal immigration, because in the end you reduce the diversity program, a program that allows. And lastly, let me just be very, very clear. When we look at this, and we talk about the continent of Africa, we think it's important that every continent of the world be able to come here and contribute to the great nation that is, because that is the diversity and the greatest tradition of America. Ellis Island, bring me everyone from everywhere to sweat and to toil and to make America a greater nation. But think about it a moment. If half of the 55,000, just do the math, if half of the 55,000 diversity visas come from the continent of Africa, and there are only 29,000 total STEM, come on, just do the numbers, and you can see why it is that on our side of the aisle, let's sit down, let's have a hearing, let's bring in the experts, let's have a discussion and a debate, let's work together, let's sit back. But you know what? If we're going to move America forward, then we have to stop negotiating with those that want to keep us in the past. And that's Numbers USA. Numbers USA, who said to you, oh, self-deportation should be the rule of law in America. SB 1070 is great and should be institutionalized in every state of the union. Look, we rejected that this last election. This last election, there was a referendum. And there were those of us on one side that said to the American people, we want an immigration system that is fairer and sets aside the political bickering to the one side and allows us to fix our immigration system. And another that said, we want to stand in the past. Let's work together to build a better future for all of us. I honestly and earnestly want that to happen, but I cannot in good conscience vote for a bill that offends my sense of fairness, that offends my sense of the great American tradition that is our immigration tradition. Thank you so much.